everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Carson Boatman, and he is going to be playing Johnny DiMera, coming soon to your screens on Days of Our Lives. Hey, Carson, how are you doing?
Not much. I'm good, Scotty. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy that we can make this happen. This is exciting. Right when they announced you to be playing Johnny, I'm like, this is the perfect Johnny DiMera. Like, he is like going to be great as Johnny. I can tell right now.
Thank you.
Not a problem. I'm so excited. So, the first question I got for you: how did you get your start into acting?
How did I get my start into acting? Well, I hated school, hated it so much. Was not an overly successful student. I was going to college. I graduated high school in 2012. Went to a year of college, and as I was finishing my first year of college, so I grew up in Iowa, in the Des Moines area. And I was signed to an agency in Des Moines called the Peak Agency, ran by a great guy by the name of Steve Myers. And he had hit me up and was like, "Hey, Carson, I'm taking a few people from the agency to this talent showcase in New York coming up in the summer of 2013, and was wondering if I was interested in joining." I said yes. So went along to New York. Didn't really have I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, frankly. Didn't have a lot of insight as to what was going to be going on at this talent deal. But I said, hey, let's go to New York for a week or two and hang out and, say some lines and read some auditions for some people. So I did. Went out there. Had no experience, in the industry up until that point, or real interest in it, or knowledge that it even kind of existed, other than going to the movie theater.
Okay.
So did it. Long story short, had a pretty good run there. Ended up meeting a manager. We hit it off, and management company said, if you move to LA, we'll represent you. So I was like, I just took that as a sign, I guess. Took a leap of faith and moved out to LA.
Nice.
In June of 2013, hopped in an acting class. Just was going to class, going auditions for a long time. You know how it goes. Ended up really randomly signing a record deal to Island Records. Joined a band called Citizen 4. Did that for a couple of years. Just didn't work out. Got dropped. Went back to the acting. Just a lot of years of auditioning, getting close, and then finally booked this one.
Nice, awesome. And a lot of people don't realize that's the thing with acting. Like the 98% of being an actor is really like, rejection at this point. Like, it's really hard to get the book roles because there's so many people and so many talented people. And I'm just so glad you got Johnny DiMera, because I could see Johnny, because last time we saw Johnny DiMera, he was a little kid played by twins. And now Johnny's all grown up, and I can see, you being Johnny DiMera. I could see it right in you that you fit this role. Like, you really do.
Man, I that means a lot. I mean, it's been an incredible blessing, being able to play the part of Johnny and to have booked the part of Johnny. Everybody knows Days of Our Lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody has some sort of tie to Days of Our Lives. So it's such a cool. I got goosebumps just talking about it right now. It's such a cool experience, and I'm loving it.
Absolutely. So, what was your audition like for the role of Johnny DiMera?
So I'm going to backtrack a little bit again, just like I kind of did with the last question. 2020 was an interesting year for all of us. Interesting would be a politically correct way of saying it, I suppose. But my fiance and I ended up moving to Nashville in November of 2020. I do music as well, so LA was pretty much shut down. We thought, well, let's go give Nashville a try. It's a little more affordable. nobody's making too much money as a struggling actor, and LA just was getting a little expensive. So
Yeah.
moved to Nashville. Was still self-tape auditioning.
Okay.
As you, everything has been self-tape for the last year and a half or so now.
Yeah.
But was in Colorado in February on my bachelor party, actually.
Okay.
And got this audition that came through while I was in Colorado. It was due, I think, next day. It was me and, you know, 6 of my best buds, you know, doing bachelor party stuff. So it was probably noon or so when the audition came through.
Nice.
I was not quite myself probably at that point in time in the day, but saw that it was a quick turnaround. And I love the casting director, Marnie. She's the casting director for Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
I love her to death. She has believed in me from day one, since I was, you know, 19 years old, you know, nobody, to now. So she sent me an audition. I knew, okay, I have to do this, you know, because she looks out for me. I don't want to, you know, slough off this audition. So I did my best audition I could with a little buzz going, and sent it back in. Didn't hear anything for forever. Weeks went by, weeks and weeks. And then Marnie, or my agent, I guess, hit me and was like, hey, they want to see you. They want to do a Zoom session with the producers, callback. And I had, at this point, so first one, I was in my bachelor party, not fully in my right mind. Second one, I was home in Nashville, snowed in. It was when all those storms are going on in Texas. And I think Nashville got hit a little bit with some of those as well. My fiance, Julana, was in LA actually working on a job. So I'm home alone with the dog, snowed in, sick as a dog with COVID-19.
Ooh.
And this producer session comes through. And I was like, okay, I gotta bring it out. I gotta fake it for 15 minutes here. And so I get on the Zoom, I do the best I can, you know, reading with Marnie. And I felt like it went pretty well. I got a little thumbs up. And again, that was it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You know, good job. Hang up the Zoom. Again, nothing. Crickets for 2-3 weeks. I'm like, well, great. I did my first one, you know, not the best. Second one, COVID-19. You know, there's probably 100 other guys that did a great job that were all fresh and healthy, prepared. You know, I'm like, gosh, dang it, man! Like, another missed opportunity. And then, you know, long time goes by. Get a call from my agent and my manager. Hey, Carson, Days likes you for the role. They want you to screen test. And I was like, oh shit, because sorry, my dad's.
No problem.
Turned off my phone. I'm sorry. So I get the phone call and they want to screen test, and I'm like, oh shit, because I didn't tell any of my agents that I moved to Nashville, because I didn't want them to think, you know how it is. Like, you don't want to make them think you're not taking it, you know.
Right.
So I was like, well, guys, I'm on the other side of the country. Didn't know it was going to go this far. What do we want to do? And they were like, well, thank you for letting us know such late notice. We appreciate that, Carson. You're such a great guy. But fortunately, Days was kind enough. We worked it out. I came out, stayed in the hotel, screen tested on, hey, buddy, my dog. I want to say it was Friday, March 12th or 13th.
Okay.
Tested that Friday, and then flew back to Nashville on Sunday. Monday morning, Marnie calls, hey, Carson, you booked Johnny DiMera. Like, and I started crying. I just cried. I cried for like 5 minutes straight, like trying to talk, you know, like, because it's a life-changing thing.
It really is.
Crazy.
It's not like getting cast in, like, you know, a smaller independent type of film. Like, you're cast on this nationwide soap opera that's been going on for over 50 years. And, you know, you know, everybody, you know, knows Days of Our Lives, and it's not,
Yeah.
and it's not like, you know, it's just a minor, you know, 3 episode arc type of thing. It's like
Yeah.
you're playing a freaking pivotal character.
Dude, yeah, I think originally they wanted it to be a 6-month guest star. I think now it's been bumped to a year.
Nice.
We'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, it's like nobody who's an actor gets to have like a steady job for a full year. Nobody,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's like, I am so thankful to Days and Marnie and everyone over there. It's like
Nice.
they really it's changed my life. So
That's awesome. So you're just a guest star then, or are you on contract?
I'm on contract.
You're on contract.
I'm on
Awesome.
contract.
That's awesome. So did you do any research on the Johnny DiMera character either before or after receiving the part?
I did. So initially, no. For the first audition, I did not.
Okay.
My mom is a big Days fan, so I called her and told her after I was getting the call back, and she was like, you know, she was trying to like guess, like, because they're very hush hush.
Right.
They don't want a lot of people to know because then it gets leaked, and you know, so they don't like people to know what characters they're casting because it's easy to guess the storylines, and then it's not as fun to watch because you already know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So we were trying to like guess and see who it might be. Still didn't really know for the callback, but then found out right before the test who the character kind of was. And so my mom was like, she was filling me in on the whole storyline, you know, about who Johnny is. And we Wikipedia'd him. And it's got his whole life story, you know, so it's super cool. You know, it gives you some real insight into who the character is and what he's been through, and how you can do a better job, how I can do a better job portraying him on screen. So a little bit, yes, as much as I could.
Did you ever watch Days of Our Lives before doing the role?
I did, yeah. Like I said, my mom is a big fan. She's been watching since, you know, the 80s. So my mom is a fan. So yeah, anytime I'd be home from school or summer vacation, when my mom would be home, it'd be on all the soap operas, you know, General Hospital, Young and the Restless. She'd be watching them all. But
nice. Yeah, I've been watching Days since like 95. I remember the very first storyline I watched that got me hooked was Marlena's devil possession angle, demon possession angle. That got me hooked. And I like, my favorite storyline is the Salem Stalker, with Marlena being the stalker, and they all go on the Isle of Milliswan and everything. That's my favorite storyline ever. It's a very controversial one because a lot of people don't like it, but that's one of my favorites. But yeah, I've been watching since 95, and my mom obviously watched it before then. Like, she would always tape it, so when I would get home from school, I would watch it. Now I didn't watch today's yet because I had an interview at 3:00, and then I had an interview with you here at 5. So after I'm done with get off with you, I'll be while this is saving and everything, I'll be making my dinner, and after I make my dinner, while I'm uploading, I'll be watching Days.
Watching a little Days of Our Lives. Nice.
Absolutely, that's my every afternoon after work. If I don't have an interview, my ritual is cook, eat, and while I'm eating, watch Days for the day. Like, that's my ritual.
It's on. No, never mind. It's on. What time does it come on in New York then?
I'm in Baltimore. It's in it comes on around 1:00 here, but I DVR it, so I watch it on DVR, or I'll watch it if I forget to tape it, or if like the president or whatever's on, I'll end up watching it online. Like, I'll either watch it on Daily Motion, YouTube, or something. Yeah, absolutely. So, are there any teasers without spoilers that we can expect from Johnny DiMera upon his return to Salem that you are able to reveal to us?
I gotta be careful there.
Yes. I did confirm with the Days of Our Lives publicist. She said it's okay to ask that, just be careful with words.
You know, I will say, I will say, look, in real life, I'm a bit of a musician. Maybe that'll carry over into the character. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But
nice.
I will say that. That's probably all. I can go into just
I understand that, and one of my questions I was going to ask, and I didn't write it in even to send to the publicist, is Johnny more of more of an EJ baby or a Sami baby or a mix? But I didn't know if you'd be able to answer that, because I do know that I did read somewhere that somebody asked you that, I think on one of the message boards, Facebook groups or whatever, they asked like that, and you responded back like you have to watch and see or something like. So I'm like, I think I'll leave that question out.
I would say he spends. What was the question again?
Like if Johnny is he more of a baddie like EJ, more of a person like Sami, a mix of both?
To me, he's kind of the best of both worlds.
Okay.
I think we'll see where it gets driven to. It's like he's starting somewhere in the middle, and we don't really know
where he'll branch out,
go down yet.
So which actor is like, I guess, the funnest to work with? Like, which one do you enjoy working with the most?
Man, the great thing about, I feel like I just keep talking about how great Days of Our Lives is, because it is that
great. It is great.
It is great. The awesome thing about Days of Our Lives that I really enjoyed is that there's the main families, right, in the show. Right. There's the Hortons, the Bradys, the DiMeras, and because of that, everything is very relationship driven. They're almost very familiar in some ways. So everyone on the show, in one way or another, is like your grandpa, or your uncle, or your dad, or your mom, or your cousin, or your sister. So and that carries through off screen. So everybody is just so welcoming, so gracious. That being said, I enjoy working with everybody. That being said, really enjoy working with Dan, my dad. Yeah. My on-screen dad. Really enjoy working with him, and then working with like these legends, like Drake Hogestyn, Deidre Hall, Brian DeTillo. It's like they're so like, you grew up watching them on TV. Allison Sweeney, you grew up watching them on TV, and it's like, whoa. I'm like, I'm meeting you, and we're talking to each other. It's like,
absolutely.
Whoa,
it really is surreal. And the thing is, like, even with Dan, like, he had huge shoes to fill with James Scott. Like, he had huge shoes to fill. Is he getting some criticism? I'm sure he will, because a lot of people don't, really like James Scott. I think he's doing an amazing job as EJ. He is doing a phenomenal job as EJ.
And what I've noticed is he just keeps getting better and better and better as you fall into. I mean, you watch some of my first scenes as Johnny. It's like, but like now I've been working for a little while, so you fall more and more and more into character. So
absolutely,
the longer you do the character, the better you get. And I've noticed it a lot with Dan, because I work with Dan a lot, and it's just really fun to So I think anyone who criticizes Dan, everyone's welcome to their own opinion, but I couldn't find anything to critique if I was watching.
Right. And I think, like I said, he has big shoes to fill, and I think he's doing a great job and he's not like, he's not going into the role trying to be James Scott. He's bringing his own twist to the character, which I enjoy personally. I love his accent, by the way. I do love his accent. Like, and he's really great. He really is.
So funny because, like my uncle, Teo Penglis. He has a very specific accent himself. Yeah. And then you throw Dan's accent into the mix, and there's Chad, my uncle, who's played by Flynn, and me, and it's like we all speak differently, but we're all related. It's funny.
Absolutely. And Teo, it's funny because we haven't come to an agreement yet on an interview, but he does want to do an interview with me. He's on my Facebook friends list. And nice. And we talk frequently, and we're trying to set something up because of his filming schedule and, anything going on in his personal life. And then, with me having all these interviews booked up, it's so hard to, kind of mix it and meet it in the middle there. But like even with me and you, today is your day off, and we were able to make it happen, thankfully. And like you originally wanted, I believe it was like 3:15 or something, but I already had an interview at 3. But I asked you, hey, can you do this time? And you're like, we can make it happen.
It's life is a give and take. So you got to work with other people, and You too, and then everything works out.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm really grateful that that you got me in touch with the Days of Our Lives publicist, because I prefer going through somebody that way, because that way I can, I don't want to give too much away, because I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get, anybody that you're working with in trouble. Like I want this to be the best and most smooth interview we could possibly do.
And Maya's great too. Maya is so great.
Yeah.
She's the base publicist. Anyone who's listening, she's so great. She's been so helpful to me. She was one of the first people who called me, actually, after I booked the
Nice.
From the days camp, after I booked the roles. She's great.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So obviously COVID kind of going out of the way, like, with the vaccines and all that, but I'm sure there's still COVID-19 safety measures happening on set and everything. So what are those procedures like?
Yeah, they've backed off a bit from them. We still, sorry, buddy. Sorry.
No problem.
They've eased up a bit on them, as the state of California has kind of has gone a little more lax as well. But when I first started, it was pretty much every day. It was, I was the new guy, so I was getting all the earliest call times. So you know how that goes. So I'd be like, if my call time normally would have been, 7.
Okay.
My call time is 5, because you have to go in, you got to do a nasal swab, and then it's quarantine in a room, in your dressing room for 2 hours until you're cleared. And then you go up to hair and makeup, get your clothes on.
Yeah.
So, a 7 o'clock call time turns into 5 a.m. call time. And then you're waking up at, 4:15 so you can get to the studio in time.
Yeah.
As well as we're wearing masks all the time and very careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I gotta say, those mornings were grueling in the first couple of months, but I don't think I've ever been more like, I was like springing out of bed 4:15 in the morning, like, hell yeah, dude, I'm going to be an actor today. Like,
Yeah, it really is. It's awesome. And I mean, the bonus of being that early is you don't have to deal with any of that morning rush traffic,
No traffic at all. Yeah. Just hauling ass down the 101. No. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what are you looking forward to the most about bringing Johnny DiMera to life on Days?
We kind of touched on what parent does he take after. I love his he's got a level of confidence to him, a level of confidence and wittiness and charm, and I think that's really fun to play on.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of get to be like a little Rico Suave.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of fun, and it's like there's an edge to him because his last name is DiMera. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's always going to be an edge. And it's just fun to kind of, because I'm not a very I'm a little, in real life I'm probably a little more quirky than smooth, I guess. So it's fun to walk into the room and be Mr. Hotshot guy. So it's kind of fun to play awesome. that confidence. Yeah. Edgy awesome. Confidence.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Johnny DiMera come to life. We know he's going to be coming, to Days very soon. So Speaking of that, do you have an anticipated release date for your debut on Days? When do we expect to see Johnny DiMera on our screens?
I asked Maya about this question. Sorry.
No problem.
I asked Maya about this question. I haven't gotten a response back from her yet. I will say it'll be in August.
Okay.
Is when I'm gonna be popping out onto the screen. I don't know if I can give the exact day yet, but it will be in August. So we're still a month or two out.
Okay. Awesome. I cannot wait. So go ahead.
I said me neither.
Yep. So the last question I got for you. Outside of Days of Our Lives, are there any other projects or anything else, including websites or social media accounts, that you would like to promote to our listening and viewing audience?
Yes, sir. So first of all, you gotta do the Instagrams. You just have to these days. I'm not the best at social medias, but if I am gonna be active on something, if I'm gonna be promoting things, the best way to stay up to date on anything that I've got going on regarding Days of Our Lives or otherwise is going to be my Instagram.
Okay.
Which is just going to be just at Carson, Carson Boatman, Boatman, at Carson Boatman, no spaces. The other thing is Spotify. Like I said, I got a couple songs out there, kind of country pop. You can find the Spotify link, I believe, on my Instagram.
Nice.
Carson Boatman. And then finally, I've got a movie coming out in October 17th, I think is the release date. It will be all streaming platforms as well as a 2-week limited theatrical release. The movie is called Runt, R-U-N-T. It's starring myself, Charles Gillespie, who's now you may know him from Julie and the Phantoms.
Okay.
Brianna Hildebrand from Deadpool, Aramis Knight from Badlands, Seth Lee, Cyrus Arnold, Tisha Arnold, Jason Patrick,
Nice.
some of you may know, and the lovely and talented Nicole Berger,
Nice.
and also a good buddy of mine, Javier Bolaños.
Awesome.
That's going to be out October 17th. Cameron Boyce he's the lead of that movie, who is unfortunately no longer with us. But we're really excited about it, and excited for any of you guys to go and check it out and stream it. It's something it's a project that's very special to everyone involved.
Right.
Because just some great work is put up in that movie. It's a great story. It's a relevant story.
Okay.
And it was Cameron's final film, and it's something that we're all so thankful to have been a part of. So
awesome. Well, I thank you, Carson, for joining me.
Thank you, Scotty. I appreciate you having me on. It was a blast.
It was, and I'm so excited that we can make this happen. I'm so glad that Maya gave the green light, and I'm glad that we were able to make this happen. I can't wait to see you show up on Days. For those that are watching this at any time, for that matter, Days of Our Lives check your local listings. It's on NBC. If you can't miss it, if you do miss it, if you can't watch it, you can get it on the NBC app. YouTube Daily Motion is also on there. But check your local listings to see Carson Boatman when he debuts as Johnny DiMera. Thank you, Carson.
All right. Thank you. Hey, enjoy your dinner and enjoy that episode.
Yep, I definitely will. Have a great rest of your day.
I will.
Bye.
Bye.